Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks so much for tuning to it. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online. ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything. If you do, fret not, my friends. All 3 hours posted upon the conclusion of the program every day on iTunes and in our own Audio Vault. You can always email the show if you like. It's jcs at 979espnradio.com. You can find me on Twitter at jcameronshow. Lots of Twitter. I'm way behind, woefully behind. Some guys I won't get back to because, well, there's no requirement for me to, but also they're just absurd, yelling, rhetorical, what are we doing type tweets. And then there's the more thoughtful questions that I'll try to catch up on. You can email the show if you like, jcs at 979espnradio.com. You can find me on Twitter at jcameronshow. WTSM app, good for your mobile devices. Feeling a little bit better today, guys? Everybody all right? Kind of calming down a little bit? Enough time passed, or are you still fit to be tied about the ugly display Monday night? Good news is, short week. You don't really have a lot of time to spend wallowing in self-pity and frustration because you got a game Saturday, and I understand it's not a highly competitive game, but it is a more intriguing game based on just how bad that result was on Monday night, because you can be sure we'll all be watching a Samford game that we had planned on maybe taking a nap for. I know it's a night game, so maybe you're going to go to bed. I don't know. It's a game on the schedule that is the kind of game that, you look for local charities to give you tickets to. And that's fine. But in this time around, certainly I think you'll be watching a lot closer and more intently because the result's not in question, but execution's something you need to see improve, and by a lot.
Come on, man. I was going to take a liquid nap after my tailgate and watch Clemson, Texas A&M and engage in Schadenfreude, but now I got to go.
Now I got to go pay attention to this damn thing. Even if I don't go, I got to find a way to watch it and pay attention and care and all those things. Actually, I think the way we lost to Virginia Tech on Monday night makes Samford a game you have to watch when maybe you weren't going to. I mean, we watch every game, but there are a lot of people, let's admit it, who would have taken this one off. But now you're going to watch, and you're probably a little bit more intrigued than you'd like to admit about that Syracuse game. I mean, there's several of them. Basically, nobody gets a pass now. Now it's, okay, time to buckle up. Let's get locked in here. Let's see what kind of adjustments we're going to make here, because that ain't getting it done there. We're going to have to see a lot more. Not enough.
Well, we can't use that anymore. That's dead and buried this football season.
So the coordinators and the head coach met with the press today. I thought they did a good job of standing up, answering questions, a lot of them that we had about the situation and why things happened the way that they did. You know, it's interesting. Willie was good with the media, obviously, and Walt Bell and Harlan Barnett. It was interesting to hear Harlan Barnett say, believe it or not, because I'm on the side of the not, Adonis Thomas was better as the game went on. But it was also nice to know DeKalen Brooks will be back. Of course, he was out with a concussion. And, you know, all this time we've been worried about the ankles of Cole Minshew, but he had a concussion too.
That was the whispers. If you were listening intently to Tallahassee Game Day, you may have picked up on that.
Yeah, so looks like he'll be back, and that's a good thing. But moreover, you got to see a little bit more crisp execution, play calling, getting to the line of scrimmage, snapping the football, engaging in tempo. That's one of the lost points here, in that we were talking so much about what could have gone wrong and why they weren't prepared. And, I mentioned I'm not a fan of preening about with a look at me attitude before the game when you've accomplished nothing. It's one thing if you beat people's doors, blow people's doors off every week, and you're awfully arrogant about it. See any number of college football teams over the years who've done that. But this team hadn't won anything yet, so it doesn't sit right with people. And I understand that. There's a difference between noting that and then somehow correlating music causing all of that. Music didn't cause any of that. The fact that they did it shows a mentality that I think was askew and not the right one to have. Music itself, I don't care anything about that. We didn't play music at all before getting beat 35-3 by Boston College. We sat there idly by and showed no emotion throughout almost all of last year while we were 5-6 under Jimbo. So I don't care anything about that. I care about execution. I care about mentality. I care about focus much more than I do anything else. And all the other stuff is superfluous. Now, getting these guys to execute better is paramount, because I did what you did, Tom, and I went through and used the Cinefunk feed and went play by play last night. And in doing so, I was pleasantly surprised because I thought I was going to get angrier, and I got a little bit more comfort. A lot to fix, but damn, man, there's some plays there to be made, and we're talking about simple things like a keep or a handoff. I mean, when you're reading, you've got to actually read it. It can't be a token. You have to look at the defender you're reading and decide to keep or give based on what you see. And these guys, either they were hell-bent on making a play themselves, pressing, if you will, or they're not comfortable in that role just yet. But when you go and look at those plays, yes, the line of scrimmage got dominated. Florida State's offensive line, bad, period. And upon watching it again, offensive line's terrible. Again. But there are plays to be made there with very simple decisions that weren't made correctly. And that's on DeAndre Francois getting more comfortable in this offense. But, surprisingly, Cam Akers did it too when he was asked twice. There's a keep where there was no reason to keep. It's on the Harrison play. That he's gone. I mean, there's a chance he's gone.
Yeah, it's a one-on-one block on the perimeter, and that's it.
Yeah, he's probably gone. That's a big play. Even the play, and you and I have talked about this yesterday off the air when we were looking at it, even though we don't like the play call after a timeout on 3rd and 10 on the 10, 3rd and goal on the 10, that might be a touchdown if you don't fumble it. If you actually give the ball to Laybourne there, that's a...
We said it in the 5 o'clock hour yesterday even. The situational call it's one of those where it might be like a Willie Mays-Hayes moment where you go, that's a great play, Hayes. Never do that again.
Yeah.
Because it was blocked up on the perimeter. I think Rasul's speed does get him to the edge in time to allow the two edge blockers, which the receivers were doing their job in that moment, to give him a fair chance. And even if you get to a 4th and 2 in that situation, maybe you go for it at that point and push the issue.
It was 2-down territory, so there's no doubt they're going to go for it. So 4th and 2 is a lot more manageable, sure.
Right. But still, 3rd and 10 out of a timeout from the goal line.
I don't like the call, but I have a feeling I'm not going to like a lot of red zone calls, but if they execute like they did a year ago in Oregon and you're number 1 in the Pac-12, in this case the ACC in the red zone, I don't care what you call. As long as you execute. It's about execution. So it's not my cup of tea necessarily, never really has been, but if you run it well and you figure it out and you know what you're doing and everybody does their job, then screw me. Who cares? Just run it and score. I mean, that's fine. But there are plays out there to be made, let alone the catch Gavin should have made, the chip shot field goal that should have been made. I guess what I'm saying is Florida State deserved to lose. They weren't the better team. But that said, it wasn't as ugly as it felt like it was or appeared to be in person. That, to me, is true when you go back and look at the replay. I'm sure in the film room they had those teaching moments they talk about. Coaches love to bring up the cliche about the biggest growth occurring between week 1 and week 2, and you get to show young kids their mistakes on film in an actual game, and you get kids to understand the concepts a little bit better because you've got that film against an opponent, somebody other than your practice mate or something that they've seen it a million times, right? People's trying to shred blocks and those kinds of things and angles. I think that's really true here. I do think he's going to have something coaches love to have, which is a boatload of film to say, guys, look, we've got to do a better job of preparing you, but this is here. It's there. You got to make this play. I mean, if you hand the ball here like we taught you in practice, that's a touchdown or a 30-yard run. This here, if you don't fumble, is going to score. There are a few things there. I know that's true of every team in any game, but I think it was especially true the other night.
Well, and the reason is they weren't emotionally where they needed to be, and then they panicked a little bit.
Yeah, they did. Once things started going south, they panicked.
DeAndre Francois is a perfect lightning rod for that particular topic, given the chances he was taking down the field, one at the latter part of the first half and then one in the second half, where it's clear he's just – at that point, what do I do now?
He's trying to make a play. Yeah.
You're trying to make a play. You're trying to force the issue, and there were things underneath. It was either Willie Taggart or Walt Bell today who said there's not a 17-point play. You just got to take what's in front of you and build and build and build. Guys are just trying to do too much. But in so many words, the coaching staff today, once again, took ownership of the fact that they didn't guys get ready to play on Monday. And that's great that they're doing that, but okay. I'm glad that you're accountable and you're not going to make up something about nothing in order to skirt the issue that it's your fault. But if you're willing to do that, let's move forward
that's all
with a cautious eye towards the next time there's a high-profile game, saying, Are we going to do better this time? Because the first test isn't this weekend about getting them ready to play. You know, the first test that's going to look like that with that atmosphere in Doak might be the Clemson game.
I think probably at Doak, but at Miami it's going to be crazy because Miami's going to win the remaining games until they play us, and they'll be sky high, a chance to win 2 straight in the rivalry and try to gain a greater edge in recruiting. And no, they will. And
we'll feel better if we have 1 loss at that point, too.
Yeah, and it will be a true test. I don't know. It's funny. It's talking about, defining your terms, engaging what you think is possible after watching that offensive line. Even if you execute better, even if kids begin to understand and run the offense with more efficiency, which one would suspect over time they'll do. Even if that's true, I just don't know how much you can accomplish if that group up front is going to get manhandled by every good front they see. And Miami's a candidate to kind of, at least amongst the starters, throw them around a little bit. Clemson most definitely is. That could be an avalanche. Notre Dame is. I mean, problematic. And so today you sit here and say, look, it's not as bad as it looked or appeared. Yes, they'll be better than they showed. Countless examples of coaches getting off to poor starts and really looking like they're in over their heads. See Jimbo Fisher down 44-7 to Oklahoma. See Chip Kelly, the example I used in his first game against Boise State, 8 points total against that team, no first downs and a half. Goes on to go 46-7 in his career. You can, and Jimbo went on to be great too. So there's all these examples of guys that got off to rather ominous beginnings, and you go, okay, well, I'm going to have to turn to that now and take solace in that and remind myself of that because the internet wasn't going buck wild back then. Like the Twitter wasn't around.
Right.
So, okay, take a deep breath and assume as much that they're, based on track record, going to be much better than they were the other night. Even if all that is true, there is a ceiling, and it is really, really low when you consider that offensive line problem. Like, I don't know to what heights they can reach if the group is going to be that kind of bad.
Or that kind of mash unit by the time you get to the third quarter in a given game. And it doesn't sound like Landon Dickerson's getting right anytime soon.
Let me ask you a question because this came up today. We did Seminole Headlines. That'll be coming up here at 4 o'clock. And it was in our inbox a lot yesterday. I never really got around to it. Things have settled down a little bit in the compressed week, and we're looking a little bit more at what lies ahead and catching up on some of those emails. And I agree with it. And watching again last night, I can't tell if it's the uniforms, but it does seem awfully odd on the heels of a complaint stemming from the last few years, and it was revealed in the offseason that amongst the many things that were dysfunctional prior to Taggart and his staff getting here was the weight training situation with Vic and the gains that were supposedly being made and the different methodologies and all that. Did we not look small? Was that the black uniforms? I'm not a fashion expert, but is black make you look skinnier? I'll start wearing more of it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's slimming. Isn't that the old
I don't know.
cliche about black?
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was white. I didn't know.
No, white makes you look bigger. We would say that the Bama uniforms was all whites. I mean,
no, I think Bama's bigger. They just look bigger because they are bigger.
Well, yeah, but even in the beginning, we would say, good God, it's just, it's a different animal when they're wearing that kind of stuff. I think that's part of it, but then also a lot of when you watch on replay the camera shots early on, it's Levante Taylor getting beat. It's DJ Matthews out in the open field.
Yeah.
Now, Virginia Tech does have a lot of hybrid athletes that look like fully grown men.
Well, and you talk about Levante Taylor. I mean, that receiver who beat him is really good and a lot bigger than him and abused him.
Right. You're talking about a 5'9" guy. DJ Matthews is highlighted early. He's 5'9". I mean, we really didn't see a whole lot of Warren Thompson, Keith Gavin a little bit. Tamori and Terry in spaces. But there's a lot of times where they ISO-cammed on one Florida State player and one Virginia Tech player, and it was one of our diminutive types. If you're talking about the trenches, I can't speak to that necessarily. But those camera shots where you're looking player for player, you go, good God, that guy's a safety. He's 6'2". Yeah,
we're going to have to get bigger, stronger, that's for sure. And we're going to have to, we're going to have to find some offensive linemen that don't get hurt incessantly. I mean, I'm not trying to be cold-hearted and cynical and callous, but damn it, man. I know some of that's just injury luck. You can't. I get it, but we got a crop of guys that can find the bench in a hurry, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, it's very frustrating.
The most unlucky group in America.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah, it's crazy how that happens. By the way, my pillow, it's a comfortable pillow. Even after tough losses, you can lay your head on that pillow and say, God, dog, this is a comfortable pillow. Stays cool, keeps its shape all night long. Don't wake up mashing it, twisting it, turning it. No, you're good. You don't even have to flip it. My Pillow is made right here in the United States. Comes with a 10-year warranty, a 60-day money-back guarantee. Try it. If you don't like it, we'll just return it. For 50% off, go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special, enter the promo code 979ESPN. You'll get 2 MyPillow premium pillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows for half off. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special, and enter promo code 979ESPN.
On the phone.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Help with their Total Comfort Service program. Visit BarronOAC.com for info. You'll also find money-saving rebates, energy-saving tips, online scheduling, and more. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barron'o Heating and Air. Call 580-4029. License for CAC 057652.
My Pacifica Hybrid, America's first and only hybrid minivan, is so quiet I can finally hear myself think. I should totally adopt a puppy. Ugh, what are you talking about? I have too many nice shoes. I also have a 566-mile driving range. Chrysler really gave 110% making this bad boy. Oops, green light.
Introducing the 84 MPGe Pacifica Hybrid. Chrysler Pacifica. Up your van game. Based on latest available competitive information, range based on manufacturer estimates, EPA estimate with a fully charged battery and estimated miles per gallon of gasoline equivalent MPGe. Actual mileage may vary. Chrysler is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
Wow, E+ is great.
E+? Is that like A+?
It's better. The E stands for energy, but it should stand for easy.
Easy Plus?
Yep, easy ways to save energy, water, and money through the City of Tallahassee utilities. Easy ways to monitor our account, easy ways to pay our bill online, check our balance, compare usage history, and so much more.
And I see the City of Tallahassee Utilities has a smart bill, which sends our bill directly to our email inbox for easy payment online, too. What a time saver.
And when we download the City of Tallahassee's digital app, we can do everything on our phones, even report service issues like a power outage or blocked road.
Plus, when we go to talgov.com, we can get more information on other great City of Tallahassee utilities, like the Energy Star rebates and insulation grants. Wow, the E really should stand for easy.
Yep, E+ from the City of Tallahassee Utilities. It helps customers save energy, water, and money.
Hey, I'm Jeff Doxey, Realtor for Capital Property Consultants, representing Premier Fine Homes. If you're thinking of owning your own brand new Premier home, call or text me at 850-545-4747 or email me, jeffdoxey1@gmail.com. You say where, I'll be there. Your Canopy Connection.
It's football season in Tallahassee, and the only place to go for FSU apparel and merchandise is Garnet and Gold. Locally owned and operated by Seminoles for Seminoles for nearly 40 years. Garnet and Gold has the best selection of FSU merchandise in town, but what we really sell is tradition and passion to serve you, the true Seminole fans, at all three of our locations, West Pensacola Street, Killarn, and our flagship store across from Regal Cinema. Online at garnetandgold.com. Shop local and go Noles.
The holidays are coming. Well, in a few months. And that's why now is the time to shower up with a beautiful custom bath or shower enclosure from Widden Glass. Don't wait for the holiday rush. Widden Glass will take care of you this summer to your complete satisfaction. They've been helping to design and install bath and shower enclosures for Tallahassee homeowners for over 70 years. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with real glass people, experienced, reliable professionals. Widden's top-of-the-line bath and shower enclosures provide style and luxury at an affordable price. With the holidays coming, that means family, and that means now is the time to shower up with style.
Call today. Widden Glass, the real glass people. 222-5781 or online at widdenglass.com. WHIDDON. Widden, Tallahassee's first family in glass since 1945. 222-5781.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. We have, we got a lot of things today. We've got Seminole headlines coming up at 4 o'clock. That's followed immediately by Front Row Knowles.
The regular edition of Front Row Knowles. We ran last night the reaction show, which will be airing from now on Sunday mornings, that is, 8 a.m. and Monday nights at 6 p.m. That will be Front Row Knowles' First Look. So anyway, the regular Front Row Knowles airs tonight at 6 after Seminole headlines from 4 to 6 p.m.
Jeff, any chance Willie lets Walt Bell call plays? Another question, this one from Chris. Is Willie Taggart going to be our Ron Zook? Great recruiter, but can't coach.
Oh, man.
Guys. You really got to take a step back. The first game, real game, that Jimbo Fisher coached was the Oklahoma game. He was down 44-7. They gave up over 300 and something yards in the first half. Bumbling idiots. Not competitive. A humiliating performance.
And at least that offensive line had Rodney Hudson.
Well, and he was also responsible for the 12-3 loss against Wake. Thanks for the 3 points, man. I mean, it's if you don't like going back that far, although I think it makes more sense to do so because whenever somebody else is coming in, they're usually taking over a situation that's either dysfunctional or on the heels of an abundance of setbacks. So there's work to be done. You know, you're gonna see those growing pains in year one. It was interesting. Somebody emailed me last night after the show. Kirby Smart was 4-4 when he first took over at Georgia. I mean, you see these kinds of things. Saban losing to UAB and Louisiana Monroe and us and all these other games where you're like, that's the greatest coach in college football history. I mean, these things, it's not abnormal.
And I think it's fair to, at least if you look at the way this game played out, say that our offensive line is in a rebuild phase.
Oh, well, and that's putting it mildly.
But we have more skill than Jimbo did when he came and arrived. We got more defensive prowess, but offensive line situation, especially given the injuries that happened. That's why I want to ground it in that too. The starting five, who knows?
No, they're not any
look
good
a little
even
bit
when
better.
They're healthy. But yeah, I mean they're a lot better than when they're not. But they're not any good when they're healthy. We've seen them all. We've seen every one of those guys play, besides Juwan Williams. They're what they are. There's no getting around that. It's still inexcusable. The performance was still terrible. We were ripping Jimbo after we got destroyed by Oklahoma, just like we ripped Willie last night. But you got to take a breath, people. This is not new. These kinds of...
It's the old multiple things are true at the same time. And there's just not enough characters in the world for that to fit in a tweet, so it can't be possible. But it is. It is possible.
I'll tell you what's funny is listening to Willie today, because a lot of the questions are, why did Four only get one carry after it was that good, after it was that impressive, or that kind of a play? Well, listen, he sounded like a man with regrets today when he met the press. He and Walt Bell admitted that, they got to do better than that. They got to do better than that. That guy got lost in the shuffle. I call it the fog of war. Something happened, and they just didn't get him back in there, and I think they regret it.
I think Jacques Patrick is the most lovable game day player of all time because he does not get lost in the shuffle.
Ever.
He's the deck.
Ever. You can find him every time. That's a good point, Tom. I need a new deck.
It's not that he's bad. But, just saying. LeBourne made like 7 dudes miss. And he's already got a career highlight film at Florida State by playing in a spring game and getting 1 touch in 1 other game.
He's over there playing video games midway through the game.
He could be playing the hangman like the players did in 2013.
Ridiculous. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
CCC 042221. CCC 049350.
Change your oil at Superlube every 3 months or 3,000 miles for a longer-lasting engine and better gas mileage. Change your oil at Superlube today, and for a limited time, you'll get a free car wash. Right now at Superlube, you never need an appointment. You'll be in and out in no time. And with 19 Tallahassee area locations, there's a Superlube just minutes away right now.
Boy, this place is sure convenient. How I love to Superlube my car, lube my car. How I love to Superlube my car, yes sir.
With football season in full swing, don't forget about fishing our local waterways after the games. Fish are still biting regardless of the score. Sea Quarters Marina, Carabel, Florida. Open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The marina has a ship store, which includes fuel, bait, tackle, ice, and all of your fishing supplies for the trip. Both diesel and non-ethanol fuel is available. Free Wi-Fi and pump out with boat slip rental. Sea Quarters Marina, 501 St. James Avenue, Carabel, Florida, 697-8400. Visit them online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Football is in full swing, and so are the Milwaukee deals at Cornerstone Tool & Fastener. Almost every M18 brushless fuel kit has a $100 off trade-in, or you can get $150 off trade-in on a 4, 5, or 6-piece M18 fuel combo kit. Buy a Milwaukee M18 High Demand 9.0 starter kit for only $259 and get a free brushless Sawzall. Milwaukee, upgrade, outwork, outlast. Cornerstone Tool & Fastener, the largest Milwaukee selection in the area. 2 locations, 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon, where the pros and serious do-it-yourselfers shop. Cornerstone Tool & Fastener.
Just how good does a Sport Clips Championship haircut experience make you feel? Like your hair has its own walk-up music. No matter what kind of guy you are. Maybe you play sports. Maybe you play sports online. Or maybe your sport is keeping up with your kids. You want hair so good it deserves its own walk-up music. And at Sport Clips, we make it easy. Just check in online, choose your stylist, and head to Sport Clips. You'll get a game-changing cut from a stylist trained for guys. Go big with the MVP experience and get recharged with a massaging shampoo and their legendary hot steamed towel. They'll always finish strong by styling your hair just right, tightening up that beard, and getting you on your way. Hair this good needs no introduction, but you'll want one anyway. Appointment-free championship haircuts for men and boys surrounded by what you know and love, sports. So get in line online today at sportclips.com/check-in and get your hair in the game.
FSU fans know where to get the best barbecue. Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue, 5442 Thomasville Road. Old School Barbecue, cooked low and slow. Find out for yourself what all the buzz is about. And when it comes to tailgating, Willie Jewell's does it best. Get the barbecue tailgate special. Pork, brisket, chicken, ribs, turkey, and wings with all the fixins. Ready to make your tailgate the place to pregame. The football team has new blood, but when it comes to barbecue, it's old school. Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue, 5442 Thomasville Road. Go Noles.
My Pacifica Hybrid, America's first and only hybrid minivan, is so quiet I can finally hear myself think. I should totally adopt a puppy. Ugh, what are you talking about? I have too many nice shoes. I also have a 566-mile driving range. Chrysler really gave 110% making this bad boy. Oops, green light.
Introducing the 84 MPGe Pacifica Hybrid. Chrysler Pacifica. Up your van game. Based on latest available competitive information, range based on manufacturer estimates. EPA estimate with a fully charged battery and estimated miles per gallon of gasoline equivalent MPGe. Actual mileage may vary. Chrysler is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
It's a fun headline, and I get why you would have it today, but something to address here that isn't in question and ought not be spoken about as if it is. Andrea Adelson writing the story for ESPN. She's a good reporter, does a good job. I saw her in the press box on Monday, so she was in attendance for this game. She saw with her own eyes what we all did. The headline reads, Florida State coach Willie Taggart believes Virginia Tech players faked injuries to slow Florida State down. Well, they did. It's not a belief. It happened. It was real, and we all know it to be true. This isn't a belief. It's a reality. He was asked on the conference call about it. Virginia Tech defensive players slowing the offense down, slow to get up. Florida State fans booed loudly, so reads the column. Each time it happened. Asked on the ACC coaches call whether he thought the injuries were intentional, Taggart said it happened too often, so, yeah, it's hard not to. Virginia Tech coach, meanwhile, Justin Fuente, who did a great job of coaching in this game, said the heat and humidity in Florida had an effect on his players. Of course he did. He went on to say, going into the game, we were severely concerned about our ability to handle the humidity and the weather just coming from our climate. We had some issues with it throughout the game. At halftime, numerous guys were getting IVs and getting treatment so they could finish the game. Asked specifically whether his players deliberately faked injuries, Fuente said, my answer is we had numerous issues with cramping and guys having to battle through bumps and bruises. That's not a no, and he did. We all saw it. There's no doubt it was intentional. It's not the first time it's happened against an offense like this. It's also not why Florida State lost. But let's not get this twisted. They 100% told their players to fake injuries in order to slow Florida State's offense down after big plays. Period. 100% that happened. And there's no reason to sit there and pretend that it didn't. If you watch the game, and in going back and watching it again last night, Kirk Herbstreit says as much. He's not going to levy that sort of thing against a team because it's gutless, it's classless, it's against the spirit of the rules, and you aren't going to accuse people of faking injury if you think there's a chance that it's not true.
He called it unethical on the broadcast.
Yeah.
And Kirk is very careful to stay away from controversy unless he feels very good. See the Urban Meyer situation. He gave a non-answer in the whole, as that investigation was reaching its peak, at least in the initial coverage. He went on SportsCenter that Friday. He was asked about it. He says, well, I got to hear from Urban Meyer's side. Really? Okay. That tells you how careful Kirk Herbstreit is about big issues and even little ones that might cause any controversy. And yet, he was comfortable enough saying it happens in the game, but it's unethical.
Yeah, it does happen in the game. And oh, by the way, I want to make this abundantly clear. A, it's again not why Florida State lost. B, it's not the first time it's happened. I think we did it against Oregon a few times in that game, if I remember correctly.
We may have against Houston. We
didn't do it enough against Houston. I don't think we did. I remember being angry and saying we should have. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I hate it, but until there's a rule against it, teams are going to do it. But don't lie about it. Now, I understand why Fuente can't go on the record saying I had instructed them to do this. But don't act like this was something that wasn't. Don't say, oh, no, it was the cramps. No, it wasn't cramps, man.
Well,
it was not.
What Fuente was doing was listing facts about what his team was going through that may or may not have anything to do with the question.
That's correct.
I'm sure they got IVs because of cramps. I'm sure he did have a few players at halftime. But he's not addressing the question. He's playing politics and just saying, I'm going to tell you some facts about this game.
Yeah, no. And
you tell me if they're applying to your question.
Maybe. Yeah, it seems reasonable to suggest as much. I don't know if anybody got an IV or not. It wasn't that hot. It was a pretty nice night. I mean, once the rains came through, it was pleasant. It was very pleasant for this time of year. I mean, I stood up on the roof, and I know I'm not that on the field, but it wasn't that hot. Listen, this is plain and simple, straightforward. It's not worth speaking an awful lot or expounding too much on, but when you see something like this, and if you get asked a direct question the way Willie was asked in the conference call, then you're gonna get an answer, and then there's going to be a response, and there's going to be a headline because it is a sort of a salacious thing. I got you, but let's not kid ourselves. So we do this enough in politics, like you noted, Tom. There are things that are not, and things that are in the gray area. This is not in the gray area.
Well, and I believe if you're a writer in this situation, you can write that it did happen, can't you? Rather than saying Willie believes it happened. I mean, you have a pair of eyeballs, don't you? Especially, there's one replay that is the most damning. It looks like something out of a bad wrestling video from 1994, where a guy gets slapped and he realizes, oh, I should be on my butt. So then he looks and then he falls down. And then there's, after the Cam Akers run, that was more visual for people in the stands than it was in the TV broadcast, that the guy who went down was actually chasing the play for quite some time and decided at some point to say, a sudden change here. We don't need a sudden change at all. How about a TV timeout?
Well, in fairness to Andrea, I mean, she phrases it this way: asked on the ACC coaches call whether he thought the injuries were intentional, Taggart said, and then just laid out his quote.
May not be her who writes the headlines.
Yeah, and so, at the end of the day, this is going to be interesting, though. It is worth bringing this up because it is a method, a tool, a way of slowing down up-tempo offenses. How many times have you been watching games with these kinds of offenses where teams incorporated it? Now, you'll hear Seminole headlines coming up when we get into this very subject because Corey said, I don't remember it happening. I think, and I need to go back and watch, I think we did it against Oregon. And I don't want to be a hypocrite. I think we did do that. Or at least there are a couple of plays where you go, I'm not sure how hurt he is. I mean, I just saying, I think we did do it. I don't remember us doing it against Houston, and the reason I don't is because I remember being mad that we weren't. At some point, we were getting avalanched, as I call it, and I went, somebody lay down. This is not good, guys. I mean, they're starting to get this thing going. Until there's a rule put in place, and it's a really difficult thing because you want to err on the side of caution. You cannot put a player's health in jeopardy because you're not real sure whether or not he's hurt. It's the kind of thing that really plagues soccer. In the NBA, flopping is rampant. It's a discussion every year. And some guys take it to the max where it's humiliating. It's more of an insult to our intelligence, and to me, it's an indictment of the player that's involved in the faking.
Well, and this one is an indictment of the coaching staff. Make no mistake, he looks at the sideline before he drops in the replay that everybody saw from this game.
Yeah, no, it happened. It just 100% happened. It's not debatable. It's not worth really getting into an argument about degrees of which it was done on purpose or not. It was done on purpose. Now, what stinks? You know what else happened in this game? Our fans booing two kids that were really hurt. Two kids that collided and perhaps were concussed. One could have been severely injured, and they're laying there. But what happens is that's the byproduct of a series of fakes followed up by a very real injury. And that stinks. I hate to see that. I don't like to see two kids laying on the ground, potentially with head injuries or neck injuries, and our fans booing them. That's not a good look. But it is the direct result of all of the times that they saw guys faking injuries.
No, I don't blame us. I don't blame the fans at all.
Well, I mean, have some sense about you because it's not after a big play. It's after a stuff. It's 2nd and 10. We're not slowing anything down, and the two guys are laying face first motionless. That's much different than a guy grabbing his calf a few minutes after a big play. I mean, I'm just saying to our fans, be smarter. I mean, that was so obviously two kids colliding helmets.
Yeah. Which they both returned to the game, by the way.
Well, yes. I mean, but I can understand. I mean, you get your bell rung. You may not be concussed. You could come back. But it happens all the time where guys get stingers, things of that ilk, and they lay there for a second to kind of gauge. You and I have talked about times where we thought we went down and hurt ourselves and thought, am I hurt?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, it happens.
No, I'm not. That was not a dig at the players necessarily for faking injuries. That one was really... That looked much like a concussion would. We're not going to screen these kids. They came back later that drive, I do believe.
Well, I don't know. I can't speak to that. Maybe they did. You're right. I didn't see whether or not they went through the protocol or not. But
maybe the next drive. But to me, just watching in real time, it didn't feel like enough time to go through the concussion protocol. You know, where they take the helmet away and you go in to the locker room for testing, all that kind of stuff. That would seem to be a flagged play in that moment. That would be me just indicting the concussion protocol staff over at Virginia Tech. But hey, that's another topic.
Well, here's the deal. You don't want to get, lost in all of this because there was so much more that needs fixing and so much more that has to be corrected and so many more reasons why Florida State lost the game than these guys faking injuries. I don't like it one bit. I suggested, and you'll hear it on Seminole Headlines, but I also suggested it here on this show yesterday. So did a emailer and a tweeter. Listen, it's a nasty part of the game that people don't like to talk openly about. But you take matters in your own hand in the sport of hockey. You do it in baseball when people need to be beaned. Managers don't tell relievers to hit them. They know what needs to be done. I mean, there are times that managers do, but they don't have to.
Well, unless Fuente or Bud Foster were the manager of the team. I'm sure they would say absolutely.
But it's in situations like this, if you want to self-regulate these kinds of situations, and let's say you're a habitual line stepper.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing we see from a particular team time and again. I'm just saying guys could actually get hurt.
Well, I think also the league could take action, separate the rules of the game of football, and upon review, because they have access to the reviews, fine the university or the coaches.
Or suspend the players for a week.
Sure. You can always do that.
Take them off the
post-fact.
field. Yeah, take them off the field, and I don't think you'll be so quick to decide that this is a tactic.
I don't think there's any doubt that they have enough video evidence if that rule is in place to enforce something, on Tuesday morning.
And I don't know that they won't. Right? I mean, they may very well send a message behind closed doors to his staff.
You got to make that public, though, and shame the player. Because once you get the stigma attached of being a flopper, that in and of itself is embarrassing and might be a deterrent more than a suspension for a half would be.
Because it's college, I would shame the coach. I would state it publicly that it's the coach and the university that we're keeping close eyes on. If it happens again, your players are going to be suspended or you'll be suspended. Well, fine, like you said. But because it's college, because kids are going to listen to coaches in college like that, and they're not paid. So I'd call him on the carpet. I would make an announcement from the ACC that Justin Fuente is under review for. I don't want to call it unethical. That seems a bit strong.
Well, unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike is a better way of saying it. Yeah.
No, that's why I thought Kirk took a very strong stance on it. Unethical that's a big word for a football situation, but he felt compelled to say it.
Because it was so damn obvious.
Well, yeah, he saw the replay. The guys in the truck clearly said, hey, you're going to want to see this.
Yeah.
And then when they pulled it up, he goes, all right, let's take a look at what happened here on replay as they broadcast it to the world. And he goes, I mean, you could hear it in the tone, man. That's a football player who feels insulted by what he's seeing on the field.
And I can tell you that anybody who's played, especially guys who played at a higher level than I did, probably feel strongly about that. I mean, it's a lot of things that I can't say on the air about what I think that to be and how that could be dealt with. I mean, that's just I'm pretty vocal about the way I would deal with certain things in basketball.
Buddy, well, absolutely. I can only imagine in football that you might have some ideas.
Yeah.
But it's like getting in a fight, in second, third grade, right? And it's a good fight, but then every time you start hitting the other kid, and I'm not advocating for this, of course, but the other kid says, time out. That's not how this works, man.
We're in a fight.
We're in a fight here. You don't get no timeouts.
Yeah. That'd be pretty funny. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Actual explosion.
Hey, Charles.
Want to pull up to the party on this? Or arrive in this? Take this last second shot? Or make the last second shot? Make this musical request? Or this one? So yeah, you can keep drinking the same old, but we think you'll like the exploding fist bump, last second shot, showing up to the party properly way to lemon lime, right? Mountain Dew Ice. Clear, refreshing lemon lime, redefined.
Tallahassee loves the corner pocket as much as a crystal ball winning catch.
He's looking, he lost it to the end zone. It's Benjamin! Touchdown! With 13 seconds left.
The 97.9 ESPN radio special is a must-have every Monday and Wednesday at the corner pocket. 10 mouth-watering wings, a fresh side of fries, and a chilled domestic pint of beer are just $9.79 all day long. Be sure and try the fish blend of sauces, a true wing eater's favorite. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
He's gone!
Home of Trivia Tuesday, Beer Bingo Thursday, and the daily $7.99 lunch special.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
It won't be long before fall is in the air. That's why 10-inch annual hanging baskets are in the air now at the Home Depot. Right now, a special buy at just $6.88 each. Freshen your porch or patio with fall color that lasts all season. Reds, yellows, oranges, and more. It's easy. Even sudden cold snaps are a snap. Just bring them inside. Colorful 10-inch annual hanging baskets. Special buy, just $6.88 each. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. In-store only. Color selection varies by store. Continental U.S. only.
Get your weekend started right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Saturdays at 6 a.m. with Fishing Florida Radio. Listen to the three amigos, Boudreaux, Steve Chapman, and Captain Mike Ortega as they catch you up to speed on what's new and biting in the North Florida region. Big-time guests, celebrities, interviews, and 3 hours of the fishing info you need. Fishing Florida Radio is brought to you by Sea Quarters Marina off Highway 98 in Carabel. Sea Quarters Marina, your full-service marina. And presented by Hobbit American Grill and Mike's Marine Supply.
Kevin Harlan from Westwood One inviting you to join us for the NFL season opening night kickoff. For the final time, I'll be joined in the booth by my longtime partner, Boomer Esiason. On the field, it's the Super Bowl champion Eagles taking on the Atlanta Falcons. So be with us for what promises to be a great game and a special broadcast. And hear the NFL all season long from Westwood One.
Thursday night football all season long on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Tallahassee's sports monster. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
GameDayExcursions.com. Do what Tom and I have already done. Go and get online and get set with GameDayExcursions.com for the big Florida State Notre Dame game. Right now, that seems ominous and you're nervous about it, but I promise you, you're going to want to be at this game, even if we're not favored to win this game. That's not what support is about. That's not what those kinds of trips are. Yes, they're better if you win the game, but they're not devoid of value when you go and experience a venue such as one of the cathedrals of college football, Notre Dame Stadium. So you're going to want to do that with your friends and family, your parents, or something like that. If you've never been, that's especially true. Turnkey experience, bottomless mimosa and Bloody Marys to get the morning started as you stay at the W Hotel for just $189 a night there on Lakeshore. Then you get on a bus, premium bus, I might add, transportation to and from Chicago to South Bend and back that night. An exclusive tailgate party, steps away from the stadium, stocked with beer, food, entertainment, and everything else. Just got to sign up. That's it. GameDayExcursions.com. And if you do it right now, use the promo code JCS to check out. It's just $10 off your order. That's right, $10 off your order. And it's promo code JCS, GameDayExcursions.com. Probable, sir. Let's cue it up.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Unbelievable statistics, and if you're a Reds fan, you should think about boycotting the Reds because they keep rolling Homer Bailey out there. That dude's won one time in his last 19 starts. If I remember correctly, I just saw he was 1-13 on the season with an ERA over 6. What are you doing? They don't want to call up anybody else. Homer Bailey's useless. He should have been out of the league. Why do they continue to roll this dude out there? Do you know what bettors call this? Big Daddy J and other bettors call this? Homer Bailey Day. Every time it comes around, you just bet against Homer Bailey. They haven't won but one time in 20-plus starts with him starting this year and last.
Means they're due.
I guess. Or you could have bet $500 on every Homer Bailey start this year, and you're rich. I mean, that's a clown show in Cincinnati, rolling that loser out there. Gone 5 innings in his last 4 starts with an ERA of 6.91 in that spot, and they're celebrating the fact that he's gone 5 innings. Dude, he'll probably beat my Pirates tonight, but still. Jamison Tyon gets the start for the Buccos. Conversely, he's been really good. He's allowed 3 earned runs or fewer in 17 straight starts. That's doing some things. Cardinals, Nationals, Miles Mikolas.
Yes.
Tanner Roark. Important series going on there with the Cards and the Nationals. We've got the Rays and the Blue Jays. Tyler Glasnow. Aaron Sanchez will go for the Blue Jays. We got the Phillies and the Marlins. Nick Pivetta. Sandy Alcantara. Zach Wheeler's been awesome. I've been riding that chain. Big Daddy's been betting on Zach Wheeler the whole second half of the season.
Yep.
It's been awesome. Mets, Dodgers, Wheeler, and Ryu. You're wondering about that betting line. Dodgers are huge minus money. They're take the Mets, man, with Zach Wheeler. Do it.
It's going to be the same story next spring. Can they hit enough? Will their pitching stay healthy? Syndergaard just threw a complete game and shoved against the Giants over the weekend.
Yeah, he's starting to win games finally.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's gotten unlucky. His BABIP is and hard hit ball rate is very, very low.
Yeah.
So it's been an unlucky season for him.
Angels, Rangers, Jaime Barria, and Bartolo Colon is still pitching in the major leagues. His last 7 starts, he's 2-5 with an ERA around 8. But by all means, roll his fat ass out there. God, I'd be so mad if I were rooting for teams and they had good young pitchers, but they won't call up because they want that extra year. So screw us who pay for season tickets.
That's the Mets and Peter Alonso. Offense starved. He's hit 35 home runs in the minors this year.
Oh, nothing worse than what's going on with Guerrero Jr. He's hitting like 430 or something in Double-A with a gazillion home runs, and they're like, no, you need more seasoning. More seasoning, but you want me to come to games.
Yeah, that's a players' union issue, is it not, for the next collective bargaining cycle?
I think it's got to come up. Yeah, it's not good for the game. Cubs, Brewers, Jose Quintana, Julius Chacin. Jules Chacin, did you see the other night that it was last night, the Brewers had like 7 runs on the Cubs without the benefit of a hit? It's crazy. They had like 3 errors and a bunch of hit batters. And it was nuts. Tigers, White Sox, Jordan Zimmerman, Michael Kopech. Twins, Astros, Jake Odorizzi, Framber Valdez. We got the Giants and the Rockies, Andrew Suarez, Antonio Senzatella. Kind of fun. How good has Mike Farr's been for the Oakland Athletics coming over, huh? I don't think he's lost. He hasn't. He's been awesome.
It's anti-Homer Bailey Day.
It's crazy. It is. Luis Severino, the story of the first half of the season amongst pitchers, and a complete flop in the second half. Goes for the Yankees. Yankees ace. Good series.
That's a future matchup for the wild card.
That's right. We got the Orioles and the Mariners, Andrew Kashner and Mike Leake. By the way, the Seattle Mariners got into a fight before the game last night before going out and losing to the Orioles, who are terrible. Not good for a team fighting to kind of hang in there, and they're punching each other in the dugout as the press is getting ready to go in to talk to players before the game. They had to be told to go out. How awesome is that?
D. Gordon said, everybody.
Yeah, we got a problem?
We need a minute.
How great is that? I wish I was a reporter. Like, they're beating each other's ass. This is awesome.
It's off the record. I'll just stand over here. It's off the record.
Oh, that's good stuff. Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Be well, everybody. Have a good night. Remember this. Seminole Headlines is coming up right now. Good stuff. Stay tuned.